Good morning. This is Cecil and Blues. Thank you for joining me back at the darkest Cecil and Blues estate. We are on week 15, facing the Crimson Court. We're 10 days from the release of Crimson Court, and how's it going? I think it's going pretty alright. I do have a considerable amount of people cursed in my hamlet, which I'm not super happy with, but we'll have to deal with it as time goes on. Yeah, I think the DLC is working out pretty good for the most part. We do have access to the next stage. We've picked up a couple of the invitations allowing us to go to the courtyard, but we don't quite. It is a long mission designed for veteran heroes. It would not be a good thing to take our current teams there. We do have one group of veteran heroes that may be able to handle it, but no healer. So I'm going to wait for at least a little bit until we can get a healer that is rank 3, ready to tackle that type of content. For today, we're going to go into the Warrens with a group that has hopefully a flagellant here who's pretty tough. And he has exsanguinate. Let me go back and double check to make sure we can't give these guys some buffs. Yeah. Alright, let's buff them up. Look at how much money we're spending. Maybe we don't need to buff up the damage on our antiquarian. Alright. And that probably means that they also could use some buffs in the guild. These are all great, but that's, you know, we're kind of undoing our whole plan here by paying. Endure. That's pretty good. Pretty good. We buff it up, it reduces more stress. Just by 1. Maybe we'll hold off on that for now. Oops, I meant to just click once. There we go. And maybe we can leave that as is. The heals we definitely want to increase. I mean, we already did judgment. That's alright. Okay, so we spent, what, 6,000 there? Buffing these guys up. We are going to go into the Warrens for a medium mission, and the hope here is that we will come out on top. We don't honestly have some great options for our antiquarian. You know, we'd maybe want nervous stab, or fortifying vapors, weak heal, weak damage, but we'll hold off for now. The weak damage comes in handy if you wind up leaving an enemy low on health. You can just finish them off. We are going to take a stack and a half of torches. Nobody's infected with the blood or the curse, so we're not going to take that. We're going to take 2 stacks of food. We're going to take 3 shovels, 3 keys. And then what else is valuable in the Warrens? We could probably get away with a couple of bandages for profit and medicinal herbs. There is also something to be said about anti-venom. There's some buffs that you can get. So maybe we take 1 anti-venom with us, and we hope we don't overflow too much at the start of this mission. So, what did we start with? About 22,000 at the start of this? So we spent around over 10,000. This has to be a fairly successful mission for it to have been worth it. But if it is worth it, then we have buffed up some heroes in a productive way.
They breed quickly down there in the dark.
Alright, this is my least favorite type of map, where you start in the middle and you have to go both directions. It is inefficient to explore. Oh, good. Alright, well, let's see if we can get our entire team infected right away. Not a good start. If we could flash powder all of them, I'd do that, but instead, let's try and give everyone some dodge bonuses.
Quickens.
And we'll start working on these. That's a pretty low hit. 1 down at the very least. Alright. Stun skill is increased. Pre-digestion. That at least did minimal damage as well, so we didn't do a lot of damage to them, but they didn't do damage to us so far. So I think our antiquarian is just going to mostly be a buff machine. That's not going to die this turn, but maybe we can make something work here. Alright, Mosquito is done. Next turn. Alright, well, he's done next turn one way or another, so we'll focus on this front unit. We're gonna drop the heals. And hopefully get... Oh, didn't quite get the kill. One down.
Unforeseen. Unforgiving.
No problem. There we go. Then we can perhaps do some stress reduction. He's not afflicted, so we're not gonna... We're just gonna hit ourselves then with that minor little heal.
The way is lit. The path is clear. We require only...
And we'll pass out some additional invigorating vapors. That is a ton of loot. Okay.
Victory, but a victory nonetheless.
We can dig through this with holy water. Oh, right. We want the antiquarian to do it.
If only treasure
Fantastic.
staunch the flow of otherworldly corruption.
Antiquarian open as many things as possible to get these minor antiques. So we are on day 2 at my house with no air conditioning in the upstairs area where I record. So I'm gonna try and rush this episode as best I can, but we'll get as much done as possible. If for some reason this mission goes real quick, we get this under 20 minutes, we'll dive into another one, but we'll probably just be doing this mission today. We'll have to see how much of a fight these swine men put up. Alright, good. Probably try and do as much damage as we can to the back row here. We don't have a great team for dealing with the back row currently. All we can really do is just try and kill things. We've picked up a couple of diseases here real quick. His resolve is tested. He is now rapturous.
Madness.
Much better.
Our old friend.
So rapturous will be giving him the buffs that he needs. I don't know exactly what those buffs are, but they're gonna make things unpleasant for our Crusader, apparently. Alright, that'll bleed to death next turn, pulling everything else forward. Speaking of being pulled forward, that changes what we can do there. Actually, I think we may need to reposition immediately. Our flagellant cannot act from that position, so we're probably going to take a step back.
This is how
Is that correct? Cannot act from that position, so let's take a step back. Can't reach there. We'll go for the guaranteed kill with doing a little bit of damage to our swine wretch there. And then we'll pass out some buffs. Apparently the flagellant would rather not be buffed. A dodge chance does not seem to be very good. Look at that, we have plus 15% dodge, and we only dodged one of those 2 attacks. But I don't know how accurate this guy is. That's not an information that's shared. He's gonna wound himself a little bit.
formation is broken.
One down.
Maintain the offensive.
Well, I suppose he's always going to refuse it. Fine. We'll remove stress there, then. And fortunately, our flagellant is fast enough that we're able to kill the cultists there before they were able to give us more stress. So how do we deal with this? Our light did go back up over 75, but we'll use one torch anyway. We're not going to be coming back this way, so opening this treasure chest seems like the best decision. We have scouting telling us what's going on to the west. Not enough, though, so we're definitely just going to have to go down that way regardless. Oh, well, we are going to be coming back this way, so let's not open that treasure chest yet. We'll have some additional space in our inventory when we burn torches. What do we got for disarms? No one is particularly good at disarming traps. So who do we want to step on the trap? Probably our flagellant, if anybody. Yeah, nice job, buddy. Well, pretty good. Let's see what's in the bag. Nothing is in the bag. And hopefully we'll get some more scouting. Barely above 75 light, so we'll go in. We picked up more scouting. Down this hallway we do have one more room battle. And some additional stuff. Oh man. You could burn these for something negative. I forget what else you can do to these. I think maybe you just click on them, and they just are what they are. Nothing important. Which I think caused some light to go. Alright, 50-50 chance, so what are our odds there? 2 in a row! 2 in a row at 50%. That's quite an impressive result. And we'll have combat here, as well as a bone altar. If you know what I mean. Ooh, that is a horror effect now. Accusation is. Well, alright. He's gonna... Okay, yeah, I was considering doing that, but... Fine, it's not great. And that's mostly because I haven't buffed it up. I bet that's an okay skill later on in the game, when it's fully buffed and you're trying to deal with stuff in the back row. But right now, it doesn't feel very strong. 2 damage per turn is just not enough to deal with the back row. She's got the stress. We'll pass out some heals.
Can be healed, but never hidden.
Let's go for the Swine Wretch. We should be able... This is a guaranteed kill as long as it hits, but it's only a 78% chance to hit. No problem. Don't know why I was worried. Ow, the Doomsay. It's gonna give some stress. No problem. Let's go for the Swine Slasher. That thing's dead at next time it acts, which is this turn. Hasn't had its action yet, so that was positive, I think. Antiquarian will continue to give everybody dodging, and hopefully, you know, it accomplishes something for us. A single target heal there on the Crusader is, I think, our best choice. 2 damage, that's going to be another 8 damage. Let's use one of our bandages to get rid of that. And we'll start working on this Swine Chopper. A stun might be more relevant. How much does this do? 7 to 14 though, that's pretty good. Middle of the road damage. We still should be able to kill him by next turn. We're going to be actually putting our attention on the Madman though. We should be able to drop him with a crit. Fantastic. So we'll buff our dodge a little bit more. We're now looking at 15. Not good enough. Not good enough. More middle of the road damage doesn't buy us much. If we would have had just slightly higher damage on either of our rolls, that chopper would have been dead. Saved us this turn. Alright, well. I mean, that's a thing that he did. Let's go ahead and kill this so it doesn't have a chance to act.
As the enemy crumbles.
We might have been able to go with someone else, but
As victories
what
mount,
fits in our inventory? Everything
so too
except
will
for
resistance.
the holy water. Is the holy water worth taking with us in place of something else? I don't think so. So we'll just drink it. We'll have the antiquarian bone altar, I think, is a buff. So let's give it to here. So that is increased damage, accuracy until camp. So we'll put off camping for a little while, I think. And yeah, I am gonna go into this back hallway to see what these additional things are. It's not looking great, actually. I don't want to mess with those occultist scrawlings. What? No, you're fine. Someone else used the torch. Oh, more Crimson Court enemies. Alright, let's try and bleed them to death. Unfortunately, the first one not gonna happen. Maybe it'll move forward. If we get lucky, it'll move forward here on its action. Or we could judgment it so that it dies on its action. Darn. Alright, well, that's too bad. And of course, there's the Crimson Curse. Ah. And we didn't get what we wanted there either, so we'll do some damage. I'm a little disappointed. Two things. The one's bleeding in the back. That's actually not the one I wanted to be like that. We did get the bleed there, so now we have two of these units bleeding to death this turn. And we can sanguinate maybe here shortly with our
that cuts on its own. Destroy.
a valuable crit. I think we need to rely on some healing, though. And that just leaves one of these sycophants, or supplicants, sorry, not sycophants. And it is dead. Alright, well, let's do some stress relieving.
Compassion is a rarity in the fevered pitch of battle.
And we picked up some blood, which we're going to want to make room for.
Brought low and driven into the mud.
What else can we take? Well, we can take this painting. Maybe we drink the blood? So that's a buff for the time being. Oh, what's the best strategy here? Maybe we light this torch.
Is struck.
We get rid of
A
that.
blazing star is born.
We leave behind the citrine for now. And we can get great power again. Let's... No. This is something different. Pile of scrolls. Forever changes the hero. Gives them Ruins Tactician. There's nothing in this hallway. We might get scouting. That wouldn't reveal too much to us. Maybe uncover a secret room. But now we're just turning around, heading back the other direction. We're going to come to that treasure chest that we left behind. But we really haven't opened up too much in our inventory. Well, that was interesting. Did we get some? Had we gotten some food that I've forgotten about? We must have gotten 2 food, because everybody got healed there, so it's not like somebody refused healing or refused to eat, as I believe they would not have received the health, as minor as that health is. Alright, well, let's open this, and then decide what we're going to make room for, because we're not coming back this way. We can put this blight stone on somebody. So there we go. That clears up a space. Alright, we were able to take everything out of there. Totally okay. We'll bring our torchlight up. We are going to have to camp eventually. I'm putting it off because the value of the buffs we picked up, the bone altar, it's probably, well, I mean, we didn't see that one, so it doesn't count. Well, we could camp, and if we did so, we would clear up 2 inventory spaces. So that's probably the best strategy. We picked up one of our journals. So yeah, I think you camp here. We're going to go into this room a little bit darker than normal. There is no combat. We didn't get any scouting either. And then we'll camp, which will bring our light back up.
A spark without kindling.
Open up 2 inventory spaces. And we'll... Lash's Anger, that gives 40 stress. Oh, Lash's Curse removes a disease? I mean, it can't, right? There's no way. It's a time cost 1, though. We gotta try. Yeah, no, okay. It's too bad. I mean, it's pretty strongly convinced it was not going to work. I need to look at the survivalists there. Make sure that all of our flagellants have the ability to strip the stress from themselves. We will prevent nighttime ambush. Is that all it does? Huh. That's only okay only if we have mortality debuffs. I see. Other than that, I don't really know what to do here. We could produce a random trinket. Or we could try and produce some supply items. I say we produce a random trinket. There's a Houndmaster trinket. Alright, well, that could have been better. I actually misclicked. I wanted to reduce the stress on our flagellant, but these things happen. Unbreakable Leader seems like the only option that we have available to us at the moment. So there we go. And we will rest. Not the strongest team of campers. We'll head north and wrap around. We'll get a full exploration done on this dungeon. We do have a fight, and we've surprised them. Eight damage on these guys. Let's go for the, yeah, not quite enough. We can probably easily kill one. And then the question is, do you kill one of the swine wretches? Or do you go for one, or for the swine slasher? Let's go back there. Let's wound that. Alright, we picked up some stress. The other one is going to vomit as well. Dodged. That's good.
How quickly the time
That was a strong hit. Well, I figured you'd go for the swine slasher here. I was actually, well, I was gonna say I was hoping to kill it with a bleed so that it would slide the other one forward. I forgot that crits clear corpses as well, so we are fine. Holy bananas. Covered in disease. Okay, as much as I would like to kill this wretch, let's instead heal. Pretty strong heal, all things considered. And then our Crusader can finish the swine wretch off. Alright,
promises success.
Maybe too many paintings for our current setup, although paintings do mean upgrades for our guild hall, so they're good. We don't need the stalwart buckle. Yeah, we don't have enough room. What I meant to do was shift click. Okay, we'll just leave you there then, and we'll close the window. Perhaps we can leave behind the crests for the time being. The citrine, I think, is getting ignored. Maybe we can abandon this anti-venom for it. There we go. It's probably the best call. Moving on. I don't want to throw away torches yet, but we're getting to that stage where we have to consider what's worth throwing away. We get to use a shovel here. We have a meat wagon that we can use our medicinal herbs on, which I think will still give us something. Alright, we don't have enough to carry all this food with us. Bounty hunter only. Man. We are getting just the wrong collection of trinkets. The Crimson Curse. We'll go ahead and drink the blood for the time being. And we'll take the helmet. Let's eat some food. There we go. And then we can shovel.
Such blockages are unsurprising.
And into our, did we have scouting on this? I don't think we did, but... Alright, we have one more treasure chest coming up. Again, make sure the antiquarian is the one digging into these bags. Got a little bit of loot. Right into a trap, but dodged it. That's like disarming it. And here is where we would have benefited from still having a bandage. Ah, darn. And into this hallway where there is no combat, but everyone knows our name. If we had holy water, we could guarantee a positive result for this. But instead, we just get nothing. We'll just back up. I don't see any reason to go try and disarm a trap at 50%. We'll have combat right away in this hallway. We can pick up another invitation. And maybe we can pick up more heroes infected with the Crimson Curse. Alright, the Flagellant is going to refuse that dodge buff. And then it looks like he's going to... Oh, he's just going to wound someone. I'm okay with that. Picked up the bleed, so it'll die in 2 turns. Raging Sight pulls him forward. That's okay. That's actually A-okay in my book. Pass around some healing. Yeah, if you want to do some damage to the Flagellant, I'm okay with that. His stress is actually fairly high, though. We might want to do something about that. Go for one of these supplicants. This is a lot more damage than I was hoping. Alright. That's fine. Alright, that's just a stress application to everyone in the team. Not quite enough damage. This has been less pleasant than I would like. Maybe we'll get some dodges. It could happen. Alright, he's going to refuse the healing.
Sedated.
If someone was going to be attacked, I would prefer it be the Flagellant right now. Get his health a little bit low. Alright, now he should be able to heal himself with that exsanguinate ability. Oh boy. I mean, all of these are within death's range.
Confusion, nerves, and panic.
Alright, still gonna deny buffs. And he's still gonna get pretty badly beaten here. Okay, wow, yeah, people are stressed in this situation. We will chop down the supplicant. The mosquito should bleed to death here on its next turn. Yeah, no problem. And we picked up Baron's invitation.
Success so clearly.
Definitely should take that.
Or is it merely
But what do we ditch to make it possible? Do you ditch a torch? No, we ditched the medicinal herbs.
Spirits are lifted, and purpose is made clear.
And inside this pack,
Waiting to be spent.
we have another journal page. 4 of 6. And what do we got in this room? Spiders! Surprised spiders. Yikes. Alright, let's exsanguinate this one.
Back to the pit.
Oh, crit heal. I mean, you invigorating vapors here because you don't have really any other options. The chances that we successfully kill all 4 spiders is incredibly low, but not impossible. We have about a 50-50 chance of killing both these spiders. We killed neither of these spiders. Probably should have went with the better chance to kill 1 spider. Probably would have been the better call. Especially because, yeah, they're both gonna get to act again. Okay, yeah, that was a bad call to go for that risk. Don't do what Donnie don't does.
Be gone, fiend.
More blood.
These nightmarish creatures can be
Alright,
felled,
we've
they
capped
can
out
be
our
beaten.
gold for our antiquarian. At this stage, you definitely burn your last torch. Or you burn yourself up to 100 light, you ditch your remaining torches. And do we have... Oh, dang it! We've got an obstacle in the next hallway, so we need our shovels. So we leave behind the 100 gold. Here's what we're going to do. We're going to actually hit the next area and then come back. So we're going to shovel. And we're going to pass by these books that do nothing. Oh, I wasn't paying attention. I forgot that I didn't notice we had combat here. Back row, he's dead. Then we're going to have to do some dodge. Hook where it hurts. I guess he's insanguinating next turn. If he gets a chance to go, I think he will. Let's do a smaller heal.
The wounds of war can be healed, but never
Drop that guy. Leave 1 slasher alive. Ah, he was faster than I thought he was. Going to be, at the very least. Then we can exsanguinate. Get our health back. He will bleed to death. We can do stress relieving. Invigorating vapors, which might actually transcend into the next area. And the swine slasher will... we want to trade the stress? Let's go ahead and do it. We are going to have to find some way of getting rid of his stress.
Remind yourself that
Who can
overconfidence
eat?
is a slow and insidious killer.
Eat there. We have got 9 portraits, which is an impressive amount of portraits. 506, I think we already saw 506 in this run. We have picked up a ton of antiques. That's going to make this much better at the end here. Sacrificial altar, we definitely don't want to mess with. I actually think that's one of those curios that has no positive outcomes. Or at the least no way to guarantee a positive outcome. So what'll happen is you'll get, you'll have a chance to get something good, but it's only like 25, maybe 50% to get a good. What has he decided to do? Oh, he's gonna reduce stress instead. Okay, so we have killed nobody on the enemy team because our flagellant didn't act. It is the last combat of the dungeon, though, so in theory we shouldn't suffer too much, even if it's bad. We may want to actually draw out this fight a little bit, let our Crusader take stress away from our flagellant, if he'll let us. Otherwise, we will have to use... we might even have to use stress relief on the flagellant, which I would really prefer not to do. Keeping them rapturous seems to be the right decision. Alright, he's going to march forward. That's fine. Kill that one. It's going to die in 2 turns, which is really not enough, given our current situation. But we're actually getting some successful dodges here. Okay, he refused it, and because he refused it, we'll kill something instead. If we can get it to the point where he doesn't refuse, then fine. But as long as he refuses the stress relief, we'll do damage. If the stress relief is allowed, then that's going to be our play. I do not want him to heart attack. Okay, slid back. He now can't act. We will take a... oh, what? No, you're gonna... Alright, that works. That was lucky. Dead next turn. Can't reach the back row, so let's hit here. That'll take 2 turns to die as well. We can help that process. Oh, we missed. We don't help the process at all. Alright, we got 2 things that are going to bleed to death. We have a stress giver in the back row that we can't reach. Would you please? Alright, well, let's get rid of stress on somebody else then. It's not worth our time to put any damage on these other 2 units that are going to bleed. Perfect. That allows us to reach this unit 2 more turns still. That is not what we like to see. I guess you judgment. Perfect. You got a little bit of stress relief as well. Come on. Take the stress relief, buddy. Hardly did anything. Okay,
seize this momentum. Push on to the task's end.
So what do? We could get a hunger tile on the way back to the last room. I think you risk that. You get rid of the shovel. We definitely want the emerald. And the question is citrine or gold. Gold is probably going to be more likely to be able to be kept in our inventory. And then I think you leave behind the portraits. Continue adventuring. We're just going to go back to this hallway. We didn't get any respawns, fortunately. And 8-step heavy. Oh, he's craving. Well, there we go. Let's go ahead and take care of that. You're going to be bloodlusted. Fine. Which is good. Alright, let us move, please. If we had things to fight, it would be nice to have bloodlusted, but we don't. Oh, antiquarian, open up this. Skeleton key. We can throw away the remaining skeleton key. As it turns out, it was completely unnecessary. I also should have snuffed out our torch before I opened that to increase the loot. So that was a foolish mistake. 2 empty inventory spaces with the antiquarian in our group. Not awesome.
Some experiments should have never
So
happened.
what do we come
You're
out
doing
with here?
just work ending them.
12,500, not... I mean, that does compensate us for what we spent to arm this group, plus then we got the 4,500 for the quest reward, a couple more portraits, etc. I mean, and we also picked up a ton of portraits. So, overall, it was a successful adventure. Less so when you consider the disease costs here. And that we picked up hard-skinned. Oh, do you not carry over extra stress when you go back to the hamlet? Does it not count your overstress?
The degeneracy of the hamlet is nothing, I fear, when compared to the
that's good.
condition of surrounding acres.
100 stress is fine. It's more, the 150 stress I worry about. Well, let's get rid of this disease first. Both of these are bad, but for a Vestal at the very least. What was this one? Bulimic? They're not terrible, but now that I think about it, but I've seen worse diseases. What do we want to do here? We've got 28 portraits, which allows us, I think, to upgrade our guild more. We don't have enough crests, amazingly enough. Well, if that's the case, maybe we pay for the training regimen right now.
Every creature has a weakness. The wise hero trains for
Blacksmith, we'll need both more deeds and more of the crests in order to access the tier 3 of armor, which we definitely want to do pretty quickly so that these rank 3 heroes can benefit. And what are we going to probably do next round? Well, we pushed up the Warrens quite a bit, not enough to expose the enemy. We could go into the cove after an enemy. Let's sort by stress. Let's sort by level. I would take Kina in and Shiro, and you take Alex, and maybe you take this Flagellant. Alright, so that's a whole group of vampire heroes, means that we'll possibly also encounter the Fanatic, which we haven't run into yet. And we can get these guys with the right trinkets, make sure that they are properly set up to go in here, buff their... It looks like they're already all ranked up properly with their proper weapon skills and so forth, but we'll do what we need to make them strong enough to face the Siren. And yeah, we'll do that next episode. And who knows, maybe we'll run into the new wandering boss while we're at it. But for now, thank you for watching. As I mentioned at the start of the video, still no AC up here. It is getting warm in this room. I am just coated in a thin layer of slime. I'm more mollusk than man, so it is understandable. I appreciate that you've stopped by to watch the episode today. If you are enjoying the series, make sure to hit the like button. You can subscribe to the channel to be notified when new episodes are posted, in addition to covering Darkest Dungeon in a daily capacity like we're doing with the Crimson Court. I also cover mostly Final Fantasy XIV, so I'm getting some videos up for that to celebrate the release of Stormblood, and I hope that you would check those out as well. Whether or not you do, I hope you have a great day.